Welcome to Flashback Friday.
從來唔知咪鬼，辦事都要攞威。元彪以為自己打通街，其實係佢老豆荷包暗啞底，正一係敗家仔。
Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Paul Bearer, and this is my review of The Prodigal Son. Martial arts movies aren't real. Yes, some of the people in them may be trained martial artists, but the fights you see aren't real. I say that because to me, the realism of a martial arts film is not only secondary, but sometimes detrimental to my enjoyment of the film. Lately, Yuen has been trying to choreograph his fights along the lines of MMA for a greater sense of realism. It may be realistic, but frankly, I find it kind of dull. Cue the Donnie fluffers asking me how long I would last in a fight with Yuen. But never mind that silliness. I don't want martial arts movies that are highly realistic. I want movies that are extremely entertaining. What I love about certain kinds of action and or martial arts in movies is the undeniable physical ability of the people who do them. Nothing in a martial arts movie makes me happier than seeing somebody do something that I know I can't do and 98% of the rest of the people in the world can't do either. Speed, strength, agility, and dexterity are visually entertaining things. That's why I enjoy seeing them. I want to watch human beings doing things that are impossible for the vast majority of human beings to do. By the early 1970s, Beijing opera had stopped being the attraction that it was, in part because of the rise of cinema. A whole generation of young men and women who had trained for years and years to become opera performers suddenly found themselves out of a job and with no prospect for the future. But they were trained martial artists and acrobats. They were incredibly fit, astoundingly agile, and often they seemed indestructible. In 1981, Sammo wrote and directed The Prodigal Son. It starred his friend and Beijing Opera schoolmate Yuen. It tells the story of a coddled son of a wealthy father. He's convinced that he's a kung fu master because he's never been beaten. He's never been beaten because his minder pays people to either lose to him or not fight him at all. One day he comes up against an opera performer, played by Ching, another real-life opera school graduate who is most commonly known for his performances in the Mr. Vampire movies. Yunbyu's character learns the painful truth, both literally and figuratively. His kung fu sucks. Naturally, this sets in motion the classic narrative arc of the kung fu films of this era, introducing a bad guy, the extended training montage, and the climactic battle. The Prodigal Son isn't as straightforward as that, though. There are some pretty interesting plot twists and turns, and some funny and impressive performances from Yunbyu, Sammo and Lam Ying. But by far, and naturally, the most impressive thing in this movie is the martial arts sequences. The most obvious difference between martial arts movies then and martial arts movies now is the length of the shots during the fights themselves. The better trained your actors are, the longer the sequence of movements and strikes that those actors can perform. If you watch this movie, or movies from this era, count how many actions take place before the shot ends. While you're at it, watch the footwork and the physical skill and the performance ability of these actors. It is really impressive purely as physical activity. Like professional wrestling, these fights aren't real, but that doesn't mean that anybody could do them or that they don't require an amazing amount of skill and training to do them. It isn't just that they do it so well, they make it look easy. And it isn't! The Prodigal Son, like a lot of other movies in its era, captures a very specific and a very special time and place. When you watch a movie like this, you realize how lucky we are to have it so that you can look back and see just how special this time was. Movies like this need to be preserved because they're never gonna happen again. Now, obviously, I'm gonna recommend that you watch this movie, but I'm also going to recommend that you buy a disc. Probably should buy a Blu-ray. This movie is worth it. In the description, there's a link where you could buy the movie. Don't watch movies online. Don't download them. Buy them. That's what people are supposed to do. If you enjoyed this review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't enjoy the review, leave me a comment. If you enjoyed these reviews in general, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get to see all the new videos as soon as they're released. Thank you for watching.